Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Okay, where are we at here? Let's reset some of this. Okay, so what I'm working on here is we have this spaceship and we're trying to launch it from a ship. So I had this massive hull that I wasn't really doing anything with. So I thought maybe what I'll do is I'll convert it a little bit, play with the hull a little bit, and just so it's kind of, just put a little bit of weight on it as well. Improve its overall handling. You could do that. That might actually work. And that's going to be to there. Now, I don't know if that's going to be too much weight. Or not, but that's what we're going to find out, I guess. It's almost as big as it can get. It's almost, it's as big as it can get. I guess I can go down here and check out. Oh, you know, it does spawn. I was checking it out actually. One of these tanks does spawn with a little bit of this one here, seawater. They're not both at 0, so now both tanks are at 0. It should be reasonably balanced. We're missing one tank on the rocket ship, I see. Yeah, there we go. Sits good. It sits good. So I mean, like the only other thing I could really do, if I'm just trying to make it like the hull is reasonably square. It was obviously it's an older kind of build, but I'd like to just give it just a little bit of shape to it. Trying not to be unnecessary, I guess. You are supposed to be black. Just gives it a little bit more, I think. Just a little bit more than something. little bit of shape. Yeah, that's kind of cool. You know, because it is, I mean, it is a, right, it just has the illusion that it just has some displacement to it. I suppose I could try and narrow this down a little bit. What's this? This is just a corner. Oh, that's the corner of the ballast. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Just something for the eye to just sort of. I suppose if I'm gonna go that route, I may as well make. Was it this one that I used? Looks like it was this one here. So we could make it wide from there. Oh, sweet, all the way down the road. Cool. Neat. And that just has a little whatever. It's just a little feature. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. And then I mean, like, there's no end, right? We can angle into the stairs. Such a big build. There's going to be a lot of this. But the whole idea was to test that we are balanced while we have the rocket ship on here. I don't want to be tipping over when we're out at sea. All right, I'll just do. I'm not going to. Then I have to go. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it back then. All right, let's see how it looks. May end up putting a helicopter pad on the front. Yeah, might also need a little bit more weight in the back. Let's see. Now, what's this thing carry for fuel? I don't think carry very much fuel. That's it, one fuel tank. 2 fuel tanks. I see. 50,000 apiece. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's all there is for weight on the back. I mean, there could be a lot more. Probably what we'll end up needing to do. Now we can either add it here or yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. It's so large. This ship is so large. And what this will do is this weight flat on the bottom of the ship like that is going to help with stability. Ooh, that looks like it's a bit too much. Yeah, a bit too much. Not really. It is. I think once we start going, we could eliminate a little bit of it. We don't want to be right because we have the weight of the rocket ship as well to consider. So we could probably do that. Cool, then it's just kind of this massive, like, yeah, see, there's still a bit too much in there. Whew. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. Now, is there, I don't even know if there's a reverse on this. I don't think there is. Or if there is, it's wired into the seat and I haven't checked it out yet. Cool, so it's a start. So we have a start now to a ship that we can use. We just need to add some radar to it and all the creature comforts that we're going to need. And this thing can be... Alright, I just want to see if there's a reverse on it. See if we can get out of the port. Test it in the waves. There is a reverse. Looks like it's channel 1 is the lights, channel 2 is reverse. Alright, let's try that. Is there RPS hold on this thing? There is not. Cool. Big ship like this, we need RPS hold on it. So let's see if we can fire it up. No RPS gauge on it. Uh-oh. Oof. This thing's got power. So obviously you have to change the rudder. It's only got a single rudder on it. Right, and the whole idea is let's say we'll try and get one to spawn, a rescue mission which isn't on the moon, and it'll spawn out here. We could sail out to that location and then launch into space, rescue the people, splash down, hopefully close to the ship, or we can get the ship and try and recover ourselves. So now I don't know how we would do that in classic career. And then I think we can turn on. It's that one, right? Yeah, if it had a double rudder, it would turn a lot better as well. Ooh, I don't know if we'll make it. While I take a football field, I should have a little tugboat out pushing this thing around. Oh my goodness. Once we get pointed that way, we'll be able to speed up. There we go. Go back and forth a few times in the water, right? Ah, there we go. A double rudder, a must. All right. Not very fast. Such a big creation. Alright, so let's turn that off. And let's turn that off. So we're heading out into the ocean. Not very deep. Not going very fast. I'll have to put a... once we get the RPS gauge on here, I'll be able to turn this thing up a little bit more. Doesn't have any lights on it, nothing like that either. But we can crank it up just to see how it... I know it... I did do... yeah, we need to see how it's going to handle it. We're not that deep either. These waves aren't going to be particularly large. Should be alright. I mean, it's reasonably flat. It's wide. Should be okay. We're heading out. There-ish. I think it'll be just fine. But then we need to test its stability out in the wind. So we'll get out to where it's deep. And then we'll stand it up. I'll stand it up. And we have to see, you know, is it going to capsize? Obviously, we wouldn't launch under these conditions. But if we... okay, let's see. Let's just make normal. Conditions normal. Yeah, there we go. So it's just a massive, it's a massive ferry. Yeah, we're not that deep. Not that deep. But the idea, you know, like if we go to the Arctic, maybe I should have gone to the Arctic. Spawn it there. Test it out. There we go. It's starting to get deeper now, so. Crank this up. Booking her for a big ship. See what the weather's like. Nice and calm, nice and calm. See, we wouldn't launch if there was a storm. But, you know, let's say we left the ship out there. I'm sure the ship will be stable when the rocket's off it. But we don't know what the weather conditions are going to be like when we have to make the rescue. Obviously, we wouldn't launch in the middle of the storm. But if the boat's sloshing around a little bit, we could still take off. All right. You know, and then maybe I need to make a bigger one of these guys on the bottom. one more block or something just to hold it down. Alright, so let's just say this is a good spot. Sailed out here. Alright. Ah, this is so cool. So we'll launch into the air, and then I'll ditch into the ground, into the water, and we'll see if we can recover it. I didn't actually bring any spare ropes, so... I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Alright. So then again, we just climb into the rocket from the bottom here. So it's important we do these things because we're moving around, and we're moving the ship around and the rocket around. Bouncing around while we're walking in here, instead of just flying into it and getting into the seat. Because if it's going to capsize, this is when it's going to do it, while we're getting set up and prepped. Cool. So now we're in here. I can mark my position. Just like that. And then I can take off and launch. Oh, yeah, we wanted to see if we can do a recovery. Main thruster 1. Nose thrusters, we'll do those at 0.6. And then we basically have to launch and release. And once we start going down, I'll open the parachutes up. There we go. I don't know where the ship is. Right below us. Hopefully we don't land on it. Oh no, I'm gonna land on it. No! Oh, hopefully I land beside it. Oh. Ooh, I'm gonna hit it. Ooh. Well, I was gonna float. And I don't think I am. Huh. Well. Well, well, well. Yeah, this is taking on water down here. So if not for that, I probably would be floating. If not for that. So now, I mean, not particularly hard here. We're kind of shallow to get access. That's it. Can I swim down there? There we go. Oh, controls have been inverted. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Awful. Physics. Awful. Alright, so we now have a big hole in the side, and I don't have any repair equipment on this ship, I don't think. So that was interesting. I guess I'll have to try that again. Took forever to get out here. So I wonder how we're going to recover this rocket. Huh. It came down fast. See, that's what I think. If not for that being damaged, it probably would have floated. But then if it doesn't float, we're going to need a way to pull it to the surface. So we'll definitely need some deep sea equipment here for this. What would we use these for? I suppose just trying to pluck it, right? Just trying to pluck it out with the water. So now what we need on this ship here is, right, this is like our specialty kind of SAR vehicle, right? So now we need to start thinking about, okay, so what type of additional specialty equipment do we need to interact with this? So if we, let's see here. So launch the rocket, we can always move it backwards to launch the rocket. This space here. The space here, I think, oh, but it's going to cut through the fuel tank. We could do it on the rear. So essentially what we need now is we need a way to get down Excuse me, sorry about that. We need a way to get down to the rocket ship. Like once it's in the water. If we did something like that. So from here, we need one of these. This is going to want to be weights. I don't know if we're going to need that much weight, but probably. And then here we can have so I guess that's our max. That's our maximum size. There's a door on it. Just like that. Couple windows. Okay, so what do we have here exactly? Well, we need a couple of diving bells, more or less, to help us out here, because when this thing goes down, alright, and then, oh, you know what we can do? Here, we'll do this. And then, oh, we can't do that, can we? Here, we'll have to do it this way. Oh, we have to do it this way. There we go. Now, I'm not sure if these, I mean, they may as well just be open to the ocean. Right? It would just be a way for us to get down there. Now, if they're going to be open to the ocean instead of having windows, we could just make that bars. And then that way, it's more like... If there's sharks and stuff in the water... Right, there we go. Yeah, we don't need this. I suppose, and the door, I mean, whatever. There's a door, there's a door. It is what it is, right? And then any equipment that we need, we'll put on the back here. Ropes, whatever. In all, likely ropes and some cables, and that's probably it. Maybe something in the ceiling. Now these two are going to be for bringing it down, and we're going to use ropes for this. So we need anchors. Now this is also going to assume that we're not in deep water, but we are going to use deep water equipment for it. So what I want to do with this one in particular is I want to try out the pulleys. I want to try out the pulleys. So what I want to do is I want to make a pulley system. These things here now, because I can connect the ropes through them, right? Electric cable pulley. Rope pulley corner, it says. So if I want them back here, no, I want it there. There and there. Now, I guess there's logic on here. Oh, just the length. All right. So that's going to come through. That's going to come through. And then essentially on the back, we're just going to have like... Probably something like that. All right, let's get this restarted here. Whew, 44 minutes. Here, we'll make them both off by 1. There we go. There, and then that should be sufficient to drop those down. Yeah. See how that works. as you can see, we have clearance. We can bring the spaceship all the way up to there. So that's probably our maximum height with anything like that. So if I'm going to make a platform, which I will, to interact with this, it's going to have to be built on top of that, and that means I'm going to need supports that will lock it into place. Should be pretty neat. Yeah, there we go. We can hop in here and there will be a button. Maybe I'll upgrade those to cables or something. And that could take us right down. Yeah, very cool. So then, let me do this. Oh, interesting. These tanks can go down. Cool. I wonder if it's the same on the back side. Nope. And this whole run, did I do it in mirror mode? I must not have, and that's why I never caught it. Yeah. Because that goes a different way. Aha! You see, I must have been asleep at the wheel on that one. Okay, and then that's going to be... Okay. So that's that. So now what I was saying is that if I wanted to build any additional equipment, now it can't be too much because... I guess, I don't really know. Can't really pick the rocket up that high either. This thing will likely tip over. We'll give it a shot, though. We'll give it a shot. Okay, so we have these. These more or less, it's just a way to get down to the ship. So they'll have to be set up like that. And that means we need a battery on them. And then probably here, just a single panel, and it could be lights, whatever. Right, so then we need a constant on signal and a constant number. And then honestly, we just run the composite just right into it. Just like that. And that way it can be received, and we can have the microcontrollers here. Would be this one here. We can mount these here. We can mount inside. That would be that. Cool. So that's it for that type of equipment. Now I suppose we need a room. We need an equipment room in here where we have all our diving equipment. Now that's probably going to be these ones. Think about that. Spacesuits, whatever. Right, so that's going to get us down. Channel 1 down, channel 2 up, right? The usual deal. Oh, and then we need a constant number. Set this up here. Right, and that composite signal will go into the microcontroller, which will come back out, which will control these. And did we connect the ropes through? We did. Cool. So that gives us a way to get down to it, providing we are 150 meters or less. If we're deep, deep water. We are deep, deep water. We need these bad boys. Which means and they would have to be like that. Oh, they're too big to fit there, right? Cool, just barely. Alright, hopefully we can get access and I don't have to change. Maybe it makes more sense. Put the door on this side. Given everything that has happened. Any damage will fix once the vessel's out of the water. I guess if it's critical, maybe what I'll do is I'll put torch in there, underwater torches. There we go. Alright, and then of course we'll have a light on it. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we'll be able to swap if it's in the deep sea. Oh boy, these are backwards. Backwards. Right, if it's in the deep ocean, we'll be able to swap with those. Now that's 2,000 pounds we just added to the back side of this. So these are 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 100. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the weight of the winches we just added to the back of the ship. See how our center of gravity now is slowly starting to drop? That's really good. This is the water line here, so we want that to be as close to the water line as possible, and that way we don't roll as much, and we'll be nice and flat and stable. Not bad. Still a little heavy in the rear. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix this in a different way. I'm going to add to the bottom. I think I can. Yeah, we can go a couple more. In the front half here, I want to add to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to add. Probably there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That might be a little bit much. I could see 1, but I don't know about 2. We'll see. Let's see. It's just to help us out. All this stuff is to help us out, be stable. I'd say that's pretty good there. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Well, I guess that is going to do it for this video. I need to do one more thing, and that's make a magnets button inside for the magnets on the rocket. And then I think we're kind of ready to sort of, I need to connect the diving equipment there. Let's see. So let's do those two things. Let's install the magnets button. Turn this one on. Yeah, and then of course set up the winch. I'll do that on my own time later on, when in the middle of the night or something. So we've added some diving equipment. We have shallow water and a deep water setup, which is cool. Next, we need to focus on the ship itself. And yeah, getting some rooms in here and some equipment in here and some survival stuff. Heating, all that sort of stuff. We need to look at a build system just in case. It needs to be a SARS type vehicle. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. And then I want to look at perhaps, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe look at putting a helicopter pad here. I mean, it does seem like a bit much, and I don't know. Helicopter is quite a large vehicle. You know, I don't know how that would work. It would take up this whole space. Right, we'd be in here, and we probably wouldn't see anything. We'd probably just see all helicopter pad. Which I think is, yeah, pretty much what it would have to be. So we could look at that. We could look at that. Which helicopter, though? Probably, I won't paste it on. But if we had a look-see at what kind of helicopter we could put on there. Probably this one here. Now I'm going to save this before I do this, obviously. Look at that. It could just fit. It could just fit there. It could just fit there. But that would require, see, because we're still setting up the ship, right? So it's going to be a couple of videos here of me setting up the ship. I hope you don't mind. I mean, it is large enough. Perhaps we do something like this. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that could be the stairs. So if that's the case, right, we're going to be moving that forward a little bit before it launches. So this would need to come out probably with 1, 2, 3, 4. We could try 5 like that, and then maybe. Could work. Could work. Just like that, actually. So if we paste that, and then put a connector down. connector is just going to hold it in place. Is all. There we go. Wow. But now it's the full deal. We could do a rescue. Oh, it doesn't have the generator on top of it. Ooh, it doesn't have a generator. Ooh, doesn't have the generator. See that? We'll have to figure that out. Holy moly. So that's pretty cool. There we go, that's pretty cool. Is that moving? I guess it all kind of works. Oh, I wonder if the radar was on there. Oh, the radar's right there. So it must have had a generator on it. There we go. Put 2 generators on it. Probably only needs the one. All right. So hopefully it survives. Hopefully it stays intact and together. We'll save over that, might as well. With that. Now we have now we have some pretty decent things. Like I say, the last thing will be, maybe what I'll do is we need storage on here. Like I'd like to have a setup down here, maybe of tanks. That we can use to have like spare fuel in them. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, yeah, 16. We have 20 tanks in total. 1, let's see. So that's 10. We need 10 more? 1, 2, 3, oh yeah. Oh, this one can't listen to me too. It is. Is there a tank missing on this side too? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 24 tanks. 28 if you count the air. Wow, 28 tanks. So I've got 10 there. I've got 20 there. Okay. So That's the fuel. And this will be the air. I think that's right. Yeah. Just 4 for air. Yeah. Something like that. Anyhow, yeah, so we're going to do something like that, and then, of course, we're going to need pumps, right? Because what we're going to be doing is, I guess, these are going to have to be, like, wired up and da-da-da. We'll have to have, like, a valve system. We want to fill these tanks with the gas that we get from our, right, we want to be able to compress them, and then we also want to be able to drain them. So to compress them, to drain them, we probably only want a regular pump. You know. I would think. Because we're not trying to we don't need to over compress the ship. We can over compress these. Yeah, something like that. We'll figure it out. So it's going to have to be something like this, right? We'll have to balance it out. I suppose it'd be the same thing here, actually. Even this could just be regular pumps as well, because it would all be coming from... It's going to be hyper compressed on the vehicle. Shore vehicle. All right, we'll spawn it in one more time. We'll see how that looks now that we've added all this extra weight to it. And what these are going to do, these are going to come up, and then I'll have to figure out some type of gantry system or something. Maybe it'll be part of this, and they'll extend out this way. And then that's where we can connect the hoses, so we can fill this thing up. You know, there's still a lot of fun that we can have. And then we have the land-based vehicle that is still at the very beginning. It also needs to be conceptualized. Man, this is going to be worth $1 million. Oh yeah, look at it. Look at it in the back. Way too much weight now. Now that I've added that massive keel, and the tanks, we probably don't need this here, I would gather. Potentially even this. $650,000 for this thing now, and we're still working on it. We're still working on it. Well, the journey continues. The journey continues. I wonder if there's anywhere now we can... No, that's good. Look, it just sits right on the water. A little more weight in the front. that's good. Now, all of this is underwater. It's a lot of weight for the vehicle, but it's really good. It's really good that all that is underwater. Yeah, and then now once I fill up the back, we could probably get rid of this. Not much there. There we go. We'll just make that the final order. Okay, we'll drop it one more time. We still have probably like 500,000 more droppings to do before we're ready. But I hope you're as excited as I am for this vehicle. It is in a way better than the shuttle because it can, we can sail out wherever we need to. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. We're, yeah. Yeah, cool. That's cool. That's the final order of that. Now we need to finish the inside. Get some safety equipment on here. Alright, so that will be in the next video. Once again, thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. Thank you for your interest in my videos. I really appreciate it. We try and cover a lot of different things. Right now, we're still focusing on space, and this machine right here has got to be one of the coolest combinations I've made yet. Now, again, we need to do the tsunami test. We need to do a few more tests, and that is going to be coming up. So what I'm going to focus on is finishing up this build. So in the next video, we can get it out and completely test it, launch, splash, recover, use the bells, and just have some fun. So thanks again, and I will see you all in the next one.